back to a new video. Happy Saturday, or well, it's Saturday when I'm filming this. It's probably not Saturday when you're watching this, so I'm not really sure why I said that, to be honest. Today I am just out with my camera, obviously, doing a little walk around our village, our local villagey area, countryside area, and I thought it would be fun to discuss how to go about titling or naming photographs. Because it's something I started doing it last year when I decided I was gonna go to a couple of little country shows and sell some of my photographs, and I was like, well, do you want to buy this photograph? What's it called? Photograph one. I didn't think that was an appropriate name, so I was like, okay, I should probably start giving my photographs titles and names and stuff. And so then I started looking up how to do that, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it kind of progressed, and now I name every photograph that not every photograph I take, because I take way too many, but the ones that I edit and the ones that go in my portfolio, I always name them or title them. I don't know what I don't know what the correct term for that is, but I basically always give them a title now. And so I thought it would be fun to discuss how I go about doing that and the different kind of methods for doing that whilst I'm walking around this little area and doing some photographs this morning. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will catch up with you in a bit once we've started walking and start talking about how to name photographs. So in terms of naming your photographs, I'm not actually sure how important it is in other genres or types of photography other than wildlife, because all I do is wildlife photography. But if you look at the Wildlife Photography Year Awards, then all the photographs have really good names, if that makes sense. They're always perfectly titled, in my opinion. I don't know how I know in landscape photography they often name the photographs as well, but I don't know any other types of photography how common it is to give photographs a title. Although I assume yeah, it is they do it in travel as well, I guess. Well, they just name the place really. But yeah, I don't know how popular it is. But anyway, getting on to the main point, there is several different methods of naming photographs. The first one is just to name what is in the photograph. So if you take a picture of a horse, you're like, a horse. So that one's really easy. Or if you take a picture of a field and you're like, a field full of poppies, that sort of thing. So just a descriptive name basically, and that is the basic level of naming photographs. I don't like doing that because I think it's a bit boring, but some people do, and it works for some people, so that's one method of naming your photographs. So then a second add-on of this would be to then start describing not what's going on, and just adding more descriptive words. I don't know what that is. Adding more descriptive words into the title. So for example, instead of just saying a field, say a spring field or a spring morning, that sort of thing. Just adding, not describing in it what's in the photo, but also adding more words to the description, if that makes sense. Which just adds an extra element. I don't do that either, but just in case you wanted to, you can. Method of naming photographs is to anthropomorphize what's the subject. So this is kind of specific to wildlife photography, because you can't really I mean, you could technically, I mean, you could try and anthropomorphize a landscape. I'm not sure how that would work. And I guess you could also do it to people that you hadn't asked how they were feeling in the picture. I'm not really sure. But it's basically specific to wildlife photography, and it basically means that you give what the subject of the photo and you apply human emotions, basically. I don't tend to do this because I don't really like it, and maybe it's because I studied animal behaviour at university, but I just don't like the idea of it. Although sometimes I guess I do use it, but I generally try not to, because I think it can be like misconceiving, or like is that the right word? Misconceiving? Misleading is kind of what it can be. So like if you took a picture of a snail and you went, the lonely snail, and it's like, well, it's not lonely, it's a snail. That sort of thing. But yeah, that's method 2 of naming, oh that's a big bird, of naming or titling your photographs. Third method, and I am slightly running out of time, which is why I am walking, because I'm meant to be at the supermarket collecting shopping right now, but I hope they'll not put it away before I get there. But third method is, and this is kind of what I do, before I get onto what I do to name my photographs, it's kind of like to tell the story of what's going on in the photograph in the title, basically. So yeah, tell a story through the title. Do I have an example for this one? If you had, I guess if you had, this one's a bit more tricky. I'll just tell you what I do, because I can't think of an example for this one, except for my own pictures, which is kind of this method, but also not, because I added something on. So last year, when I decided to do some shows and to sell some of my photographs and to start coming up with names for my photographs, I was really into the TV show Bones. If you have not heard of it, it's great, and I still watch it quite a lot, or rewatch it I should say. It's basically a detective murder show with a forensic anthropologist and an FBI agent, and every title, or every episode, has a title that, like, they all begin with the, and then it says something something in the something, and that's how every episode is titled. So which one did, like the blackout in the blizzard, that's the sort of title they give to every episode, and they all sound similar. And so at the time I was like trying to come up with with titles for my pictures, and I was like, I just don't know what to do. And I was like naming them like rubbish stuff, like a Dartmoor pony, you know, that sort of thing. And I was like, well, that's a rubbish title. So I was like, I need to get better at this. So then I was like, what if I just named all my photographs as though they were episodes of a TV show? And so that is, oh, you can't see me, that is what I did. So I'll show you some examples now, but if I put it up on screen, this one is called The Guardian in the Gorse, which I think sounds very much like a TV, like an episode of Bones. And I was like, this is great, because I'm a really big fan of the show, and now all my pictures sound like they're episodes in a TV series. So this is a picture of a stallion, Dartmoor pony, up on the moors that I took a few weeks ago, and I spend quite a lot deciding what to name my photographs, and sometimes I like get them straight away and I'm like, that is the title of this photograph, but other times I'm like, gotta spend like ages thinking about it, and I go away and I think about it some more, but this one I got almost straight away, and the reason it's called this, firstly, the easy bit, all the yellow plant around it is gorse, so that's easy because that's actually in the photograph, and the first part, if I go work backwards, the Guardian bit is because this stallion was guarding all these mares and foals in this area, so it works. And I was like, oh, that's a perfect name because it works, and that is what he's doing in the photograph. I also think that's why he was kind of giving me the evil look in the photograph, and I'm really glad I was on the other side of the river when I took this. But that's how I name my pictures. So another example, which I will get up on screen now, and I'm trying to think of them whilst on my walk here, is wait, I'll think about it and come back to you. Okay, so I thought of a second picture to use as an example. So this one that's on screen now is called A Blow Dry on the Moors, which I think is really funny. This one doesn't start with the, which kind of upsets me, because it doesn't work with the whole episode thing I had going on with the other one, but never mind. This one is, it's really funny. So this one was taken on a really windy January day, and it had just finished raining, which is why I then took this picture of this sheep, and I was like, the sheep is having its fur blown dry like a hairdryer. And so then I was like, oh, the blow dry on the moors. And that is how I come up with photograph names. I hope this video has been okay. Maybe if I think of another example, I'll put it up, or I'll put up loads of like a slideshow of all my pictures and what they're titled, because that's fun. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this like slight bonus video, and I'm sorry I've had to rush the end because I've got to go to the supermarket and collect some shopping, but I hope you have found this useful, and maybe I'll do like a part 2 where I think up other ways to name photographs. But yeah, see you all next week for a new video.